Hey everyone, uh, this is Woody Wednesday. This is a thing I'm trying out that I'm reviewing an album that I love, and I got this idea from Abby from Vinyl Mondays, and I love her show, and she didn't do an episode this week, so I thought I would try my hand at it. So today's is Band of Gypsies. So the history behind Band of Gypsies is Hendrix had a contract that he signed before he got big with the Experience. And the guy, the legal people said, we're gonna put you into court and all this, and Jimmy said, I don't want to do that. Is there something I can give to you instead? And he said, yeah, give me an album. And then Hendrix were asking people. He asked Buddy Miles if he would join, and he said, yeah, I'll help you. He was his friend in the good times and the bad times. And Billy Cox was already with him with the Experience, and did some rehearsals, and the rehearsals sound really great. And they did 4 shows at the Fillmore East, and it made this album. So that's the history behind it. This one I have is on the yellow 1970 correct Capitol label, because this album did come out 1970 before Hendrix died. A lot of people don't get this right. Is before he died, there was Are You Experience, Axis Bold as Love, Electric Lady, and this came out before he died in September. And this is and those 4 performances are out now as Groovy Sounds for Groovy Children. There's some great versions of some songs they did. And I have that set. If you haven't seen a vinyl update, I picked it up. And I can tell you now, knowing what's from what. So here's the track listing now. And who's in the group. Jimi Hendrix on lead vocal and guitar. Buddy Miles on drums and backing vocals. Billy Cox on bass and some backing vocals. And the track list goes by this. Who Knows on side A, Machine Gun, and then side B is Power of Soul, Power of Love, and We Got to Live Together. A Buddy Miles arrangement. Oh, and Changes. Changes starts side B, sorry. Anyway, the first thing you hear is the tape speeding, starting. And you hear, I might not know if it's Bill Graham, but you hear an introduction. The Fillmore's proud to present some old friends with a brand new name, a Band of Gypsies. Then, this is the breakdown of the nights. Who Knows was recorded, the one on here, from the 3rd night. The first 2 nights were first 2 concerts were recorded on New Year's Eve. Then the other 2 was recorded on New Year's Day. And Who Knows was recorded on the first show of New Year's Day. And there's a point that they go down and it's just Billy and Buddy, because before that part, Hendrix breaks a guitar string and you can barely hear it break. I mean, it's so It's so seamless, you know. And that's the opening of the first show of New Year's Day. Then Machine Gun is from the same night. These two were played back to back. Then on side B, Changes was recorded on the fourth night of the New Year's Day, the second show. Then The Power of Soul was recorded that night. And the Power of Love was recorded that night. And We Got to Live Together was recorded on that night. And on the Groovy Sounds for Groovy Children, they did Voodoo Child, and We Got to Live Together was in the middle of that. If you turn this thing up real loud, at the end of We Got to Live Together, you can hear a fuzz turn on, because after that song they did Wild Thing. You can hear the first and that fuzz. And I'm a guitar player. I know the sound of fuzz when you turn fuzz on. So you can hear them fading out on the first fuzz of Wild Thing. And if you haven't heard the unedited version, this We Got to Live Together is edited. It's much longer on the Groovy Sounds on Groovy Children, for Groovy Children. And that recording is just fantastic. And this copy I have is a gatefold. And I've listened to this album over and over and over. Now, if you don't know, Band of Gypsies, they say they did only 4 concerts. That's not very true. They had 2 more that they did. They did the 4 at the Fillmore East, and they did 2. Sorry if you can't see me. I'm trying to put this thing back in. 2 at Madison Square Garden. And there is some little recording of those shows. But that was the last time Buddy, Billy, and Jimmy were together. And then after this moment, Jimmy and Billy got back with Mitch and did the Experience stuff. And Buddy Miles went back to his solo gig. And then Jimmy died on September. So officially, this was the last album that was released when Hendrix was alive. So my favorite off of this is basically everything. There's really small moments that I really love on this album. The group dynamics of Changes, Who Knows, those 2 moments when it's just, even Who Knows, when it's just them 2, that they're on this level of musicianship of Billy and Buddy, to make it so flawless to not know Jimmy broke a string. And then Changes, some great work by Buddy Miles, getting the crowd clap. And Power of Soul is a great song, and he does a lot of guitar work on that. That is some of the best guitar work that Jimmy ever did. Some people say Little Wing. I say Power of Soul. And in Message of Love, there's a moment in it that's just this. Dun, 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 dun. Jimmy does it at Woodstock too in Message of Love. But this is where everyone's playing with him. Not just Mitch is doing his thing and Billy's playing with Mitch. This is all of them together as a unit. That's the one thing I never liked about the experience, that Mitch and Noel played the Jimmy, but they still did their thing. Like, they kept going and going and going. Like, there's a version of Fire on the Groovy Sounds on Groove for Groovy Children, and there's a part that Jimmy does, and Buddy's playing right with him. And in 70, Jimmy did that at the Atlanta Pop, and Mitch ignores it. So yeah, this band played as a unit in my mind, and it's my favorite Hendrix album and my favorite Hendrix period. I mean, all four of those shows, even the bad tuning. If you've heard the Machine Gun from the same night of the fourth night, it's way out of tune. But here's the thing. It's still Hendrix. Even badly out of tune, he's still going to give a great performance. And we just got word that Burning Desire is going to be released for Record Store Day. And I've been wanting that off the Dagger website. And that's near this period. Billy's there. I don't know if Mitch is there or Buddy's there, but they got some of the material that they play at the four nights, like Burning Desire, Easy Rider, stuff that would be on Ray's, and Cry Love, and so yeah. So this is my favorite Hendrix record, and thanks for watching. Peace.